The internet can make anyone famous, and sometimes it can destroy them too. In the case of Graham, a young Scottish vlogger, the story begins with his endless passion for creating online content. His small apartment had become his stage, his world, and his only escape. He spent hours filming, editing, and uploading videos, hoping to break into the world of viral fame. Like many creators, he dreamed of recognition, but Graham's journey would take him down a much darker path, one that blurred the lines between truth, lies, and the terrifying unknown. At first, Graham was just another struggling content creator. His channel had a modest following, mostly fans who appreciated his experimental style and dedication. His charisma came across as authentic, and his followers felt connected to him, even though his content lacked the polish of bigger creators. Still, Graham wanted more. He didn't just want views. He wanted to matter, to leave his mark. That's when he decided to push boundaries and create videos that were daring, risky, and unlike anything his audience had seen before. The breakthrough came when Graham uploaded a video that seemed to capture genuine paranormal activity. It was late at night when he claimed to have filmed strange flickering lights and mysterious movements in his flat. At first, people thought it was staged, but the more they watched, the more unsettling it became. The video spread across forums and social media, pulling in viewers far beyond his usual reach. For the first time, Graham was going viral. People wanted to believe that he had captured proof of something supernatural. Comments poured in, praising his bravery, begging him to film more, and demanding answers about what was happening in his home. Graham basked in the attention, but with recognition came doubt. Skeptics accused him of fabricating everything. They dissected his videos frame by frame, looking for evidence of wires, shadows, or editing tricks. Some labeled him a fraud, while others defended him passionately. The debate only fueled more interest, and Graham leaned into the chaos. He began filming more ghost hunting content, claiming that his flat was haunted. Each new video seemed to escalate. The knocks grew louder, the shadows darker, and his own fear more palpable. His subscribers skyrocketed. The internet loved a good ghost story, and Graham was giving them exactly what they craved. But the pressure of fame is a dangerous thing. Behind the camera, Graham was unraveling. He spent sleepless nights setting up recordings, watching every frame for signs of the unexplained. He began to feel as if the hauntings weren't just for the camera anymore. Strange noises echoed in his apartment even when he wasn't filming. Doors creaked open, objects shifted, and cold drafts made his skin prickle with dread. Was it real, or had he simply convinced himself so deeply that he couldn't tell the difference anymore? The scrutiny intensified when journalists and paranormal investigators began digging into his work. One of them, a fellow content creator named Alice, confronted Graham about the authenticity of his videos. Alice had built her reputation by debunking fake paranormal claims, and she was convinced that Graham's content was staged. She accused him of exploiting viewers for attention, and her followers attacked him relentlessly online. Graham defended himself, insisting that what he captured was genuine. But doubt began to creep in even for him. If he couldn't convince himself of the truth, how could he convince anyone else? Things reached a breaking point when Graham staged one of his most ambitious videos. Desperate to keep his momentum, he planned an elaborate shoot that would shock his audience. He claimed to have captured undeniable evidence of ghostly presence, a chilling sequence where a figure appeared behind him, just out of focus, while he was live streaming. The internet exploded with reactions. For many, this was the proof they had been waiting for. Others, however, quickly called it a fake, pointing out inconsistencies in lighting and editing. Graham tried to ride the wave of attention, but the backlash was merciless. Accusations of fraud destroyed his credibility, and his reputation collapsed overnight. The fall from fame was brutal. His subscriber count plummeted. Sponsorships vanished. He became the target of endless trolling, harassment, and ridicule. Alone in his apartment, Graham spiraled into despair. He had built his identity around his online persona, and now it was in ruins. Yet, even as the world turned against him, something darker seemed to linger. The paranormal activity that once felt staged now felt terrifyingly real. Shadows still moved in his home. Whispers filled the silence. He began to feel like he was being watched constantly, even when the cameras were off. Was it guilt manifesting as hallucinations, or had he truly invited something sinister into his life? Graham became obsessed with documenting everything again, this time not for fame, but for survival. His final videos were raw, shaky, and desperate. He looked exhausted, terrified, and broken. He spoke directly to his audience, confessing that he no longer knew what was real. He admitted to faking some of his earlier content, but insisted that the horror now surrounding him was genuine. "I thought I could control it," he said in one of his last recordings, "but it's controlling me now." His followers watched in shock as Graham unraveled before their eyes. Some believed him, others mocked him, but everyone was captivated by his downfall. The final video he uploaded was unlike anything he had ever shared before. It showed his flat in chaos, objects scattered, doors slamming shut, and Graham himself screaming into the darkness. The footage cut off abruptly, leaving viewers in silence. That was the last anyone saw of him alive. In the aftermath, speculation ran wild. Some claimed it was his ultimate performance, a desperate attempt to regain fame through one final hoax. Others believed he had been consumed by the very forces he had tried to exploit. Investigations found little evidence of foul play, but whispers of something unexplainable lingered. His death was officially ruled a suicide, though many refused to accept it. Online forums still debate what happened to him, dissecting every frame of his final uploads in search of hidden truths. The tragedy of Graham's story is not just about whether the ghosts were real, but about the cost of chasing validation in the digital age. His hunger for recognition drove him to create illusions, but those illusions consumed him until he could no longer escape. For his viewers, the line between entertainment and horror blurred forever. For Graham, the line between reality and delusion disappeared entirely.